Well, Stags fans, we're back again for the 25-26 season. Mark, it's a pleasure to have you back. How have you just been over pre-season so far?
Thanks, Harry. It's great to have you back on board again and part of the 𝗓𝗓𝗖𝗓 set-up. You promote the club really well, and I think that's quite important for us if we want to try and do well this season. And obviously our end game is, in theory, to playoffs and promotion. But it's been a bit, I think most teams, you have a lot of people go away, say around this time and on holidays, and they come back and you're trying to gel people in, and it's I think it's been quite tough to do that, but we've set our standards high, and I think so far we've had some really good tests with the 𝗕𝗓𝗖𝗞𝗛𝗨𝗥𝗦𝗧 with their physical side. That gave us a strong test, and we were missing a lot of our back four in our midfield. And then we moved into the Redbridge game, which again I thought was a very good test. I think when you play the Step 4 teams, it's just that they move the ball a little bit quicker and their physicality comes into play, and we've struggled with that a little bit. But that's a good guide for me where we need to improve on. The Potters Bar tournament was a little bit too much to do, but we took some young lads, but I didn't want to let them down because I'd already said yes to that. But again, we played all right on the day. We just ran out of players. We were unlucky, 2 or 3 hamstrings went, and Ethan got a bash in the eye. And then we moved on to the Hoddesdon game. They obviously gave us a little bit more space to play, and comfortable win. And myself and Ted saw some good bits and other stuff that we need to work on. And then we obviously moved on to a very tough week for us. Again, Anthony's got some great friendlies. 𝗕𝗓𝗖𝗞𝗛𝗨𝗥𝗦𝗧 today, very strong side in the playoffs last year. I think they lost in the semi-final, almost went up. So that's a very strong test for us, good physical side. We've got Stansted on Tuesday, where I'll probably mix a little bit of youth and players that have just come back from holiday, need minutes, and look at a couple of others. And then Tilbury obviously will probably be close to, we start to get the Tilbury and the Cambridge City game to close what we're going to start the season with. It's a bit of a fact-finding mission for us, myself and Ted, because we're integrating new players in the team. We've signed some very good players. Tony Martin's come in, Bill's come in, Callum's away at the moment, he's coming in. Tyler unfortunately got injured in the 𝗕𝗓𝗖𝗓𝗏𝗧 game. Josh Banfield's joined us from Woodford, which is a fantastic player to have. He's injured at the moment, but hopefully get him back in about 3 or 4 weeks. So I find it a little bit frustrating. You see it, myself and Ted see it on paper what we want to do, but then because of the injuries, like say Alfie couldn't play today, Ethan's rung in sick, but it gave Max and Chalmer a chance to play together and chance to look at other people. But you did, and obviously we were trying a different formation, so that was a bit tough today. First half kind of worked well, we went 1 up. But I think, after that, I thought we gave the ball away quite a lot, and obviously in the second half, up to the water break, I thought we gave the ball away a lot more. So we just need to look after the ball in good areas, need to play a little bit higher up the pitch, but, it's going to take time.
So, to you Stags fans, we're going to do a weekly update every week with Mark, Ted, or a part of the team, just to give you a bit of info into life at 𝗓𝗓𝗖𝗓𝗏𝗏 Football Club. Mark, just going forward, obviously the club have set the objective of the playoffs, and just looking at the squad, personally, I think we can hopefully go for that. And in the coming days and weeks, we'll have players that will announce on social media. Just looking at the season, what are your sort of hopes and aspirations going forward?
I just think it's, like I said, it's getting that kind of team to gel together. I think camaraderie is a very important thing in football. And rather than me and Ted doing a lot of shouting, they've got to do their own talking. It's always been a fault of ours not to talk more. I think if they can put that together, try and work under a system which they're comfortable with and we're comfortable with, I think it's very important to start well. We've got a very tough week to start with. Ilford away, difficult pitch, dry pitch. We know the type of way they play. They can play football, but they can be quite direct as well. 𝗕𝗓𝗖𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗧 Hamlets I don't know much of, but they've come up and they've got some very good players. So the first 2 games are tough, and then we've got Malden and Tiptree away in the FA Cup. Not a favourable draw for us, but good to go there, nice pitch, and be a good experience for us. So it's a very tough first week. So I think August is very important, and I've really got a target. You look at you look at certain aspects. Sometimes I think some teams look at the cups and want to do well, which obviously you want to do in all competitions. But for us this year, myself and Ted's, our main concentration is getting our league form right and getting the balance that we, with the squad is to the extent that there's a couple of things I can still add to, a couple of positions that I feel we need to strengthen. But like I say, when you've got people away, good players away, and quite not back from injuries, it's hard to kind of get that balance. But once they come back, really, it's a bit of a shame that like players like Josh are injured. But once we kind of get that main gel back, Yusuf's come back in today, was absolutely superb. He's our best player on the pitch. Used the ball well. So if we can get that balance right, but like I say, August is such an important month to start well. I should imagine we'll probably play, normally I don't know, 6 or 7, 8 games in the first month. Like I say, our league, we'll find out in the next week or so, our league fixtures, but that's my main concentration rather than the cups.
So just final thing going forward, we've obviously teams like Woodford and Basildon that look strong this season. Where would your sort of main thing to finish this season?
Well, you've got when you play teams in the league, you know that you've got to look at the kind of the bottom half of the table, and that's where you've really got to try and take your points. It's always going to be tough playing the Woodfords, the Barking, the 𝗕𝗟𝗖𝗞𝗛𝗨𝗥𝗦𝗧, Basildons. For me, they're going to be like kind of the 4 sides that be very strong. So it's important to get results against them, but for me, it's more important to get teams against. I'm saying everyone's going to be at the bottom in the bottom 10, but there's obviously games you target that you really got to be on it from the start to get the points. And then when you get to the games against like the Barkings, the Woodford, like the 𝗕𝗟𝗖𝗞𝗛𝗨𝗥𝗧, that's as much as you want to win the game, they're going to be tight games, and you may or may, hopefully get something out of. Last season, it's funny, we lost to teams that finished a lot below us. We have a habit of losing to the bottom team, but then we got very good. You look at Woodford in the playoff final, we took 4 points off them. You look at 𝗕𝗟𝗟𝗏, we won at home, we lost away. Barking, we beat twice. We actually beat them 4 times throughout the season. So we're very capable of taking points off the top teams. It's the teams that are kind of, that you think may end up in that bottom 10. That's the ones that you really got. That's wins you the titles. So we'll get you in the playoffs. So that's our aim really. And like I say, we need to kick off the season running. So a little bit, like I say, not exactly where I want to be at the moment, but hopefully by that Ilford game, everyone's back. We're all players ready to go.
So final thing, Mark. Obviously, just to the fans this season. From my part, I've promised that I'll push social media as much as possible, that we will be the team that everybody looks at and thinks they're the best team at social media in the league. What your message to the fans just going forward, trying to get a few people to come down and support the Stags like we used to, where we were getting attendances of 1,000 a game against Ipswich Wanderers? Yeah,
there's always, people love dramas. That was an incredible season where it was between us and Ipswich the whole way, and it was a little bit, towards the end when they pulled out the game and said they had illnesses and the furlough non-league rules were ridiculous to allow them to do that. So that kind of generated a lot of interest. People like things like that. So no, I think what our fans and people coming over, that we're always going to, sometimes it's to our detriment. You're going to get a good game of football. We're going to try and play. You know what I mean? We want to get the ball down. We want to play football. And I think a lot of people come over and can see that, we're not just going to get the ball and hit direct. Sometimes you have to depend on the pitch and the weather, but we want to play football, and I think people will come down and they'll see a very good, the players we've signed, integrated ones we've got, I think they'll see a very good football team.
Well, Mark, thank you for your time. 2 games in, 2 days next week, so I wish you the best of luck for that.
Thank you.
And we will see you next week.
Lovely. Cheers, Harry.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.